Welcome to Beyond the Open Door. I am your host, Domina, and you have entered a safe and sacred space. This evening, I am presenting what I'm calling a dark mass. And the purpose of the dark mass is to celebrate one of the entities or spirits or daemons or energies, whatever term you want to use. I want to just acknowledge publicly and to call attention to who I call Lord Lucifer. And before I get into everything, I want to start with an invocation and then go into this time of sharing. You are Lucifer, the angel and the devil, father of serpents, spirit of rebellion, initiator of the way. You are the emperor of all spirits above and below. You who have built your kingdom in everlasting darkness, son of the morning, star of the dawn, the shining one. You are the adversary in the Garden of Eden, eternal accuser and destroyer, father of abominations, enemy of faith. You are the seducer who tempts man with the fruits of knowledge. You corrupt and defile the soul to infect it with forbidden wisdom, and you transform it in the hearth of your sacred and unholy fire. You have 1,000 forms and faces, and you speak with 1,000 tongues. You are the light bearer and the Lord of the night. You are the wicked serpent, and you seduce man with the promise of knowledge and power. You awaken the soul from the slumber of ignorance, and you illuminate the way to the heart of eternity. You are the spirit of darkness and light, and you hold the keys to secrets of empyrean heights and infernal depths. You are the Lord of the trident. You guide the ascending soul on the path of the gods and on the backward path of the devil. You are the dark god. You are the dark god of the Qliphoth, the emperor of the night side. You who reside in the midst of darkness and the heart of the void. You open the gates to the path of the dragon, and you ignite the flame of godhood in the heart of man. You are the spirit of liberation and enlightenment. You are Lucifer. So the reason why I wanted to do a dark mass, I have kind of shared on the channel. I've come out as a witch, and I've loosely called myself, or at least have been interested in, the Luciferian path. So I kind of want to explain that, but I'm not going to go into depth because I'm still learning about it myself. But in the midst of this, let me just share why this path or this philosophy interests me. So many of you know I have come out of the church and been out of the church. I've been out of the building of the church since 2011. And then that process started where I began asking questions and questioning the things that I had been brought up to believe and started seeing cracks. And so I started walking away and I started trying to find what truth really is. Because I would be in one denomination and I would ask, what is the truth? I just want to know the truth. And so I'd leave one denomination and go to quote unquote a non-denomination, but the aspect of it was still kind of Kojic, but not Kojic in name or Church of God in Christ, if you don't know what Kojic means. And then go and fall into non-denomination, but Pentecostal, but charismatic, and then started moving away from that and getting into the Messianic Hebrew and the Hebrew Israelites, and then walking away from all of that and still searching for truth. Now, if that all of or any of that is truth for you, God bless you, have at it. But it's no longer truth for me. And as I was asking questions and as I was starting to read things that were forbidden in the church and even in church circles or the Christian faith circles, even in those reading those things, those were taboo. And just even in the invocation that I just read and spoke to you, some of the things that are in here, if you're still in that mindset, then this stuff is blasphemy. And this is forbidden. And this is the first class ticket to hell. Because we were taught to stay away from these things and not to look at this stuff and not to entertain it, because it's just going to pollute our mind. It's going to cause us to what's the word? Apostate. Yes, to be an apostate, which means you can never come back because you've walked away from the truth. And so to walk away from the truth, there's no returning for you. You have committed the unpardonable sin. And again, if that is your line of thinking, then this will not be for you. But if you are still searching, and if you are still questioning, and if you still want to know truth, I'm not saying this is ultimate truth. What I am saying is this is truth for me. And I know on my channel, we just came through the Hoodoo Heritage Month, and some of you subscribed because of that. And I posted the little flyer that I had made in the template that I had created and shared. And I'm grateful for everybody that supported that. And that is part of my walk, but that is not the completion of it. And as I have walked away from the church mindset and the one-way mindset and the you can only serve one, or you can only call upon one, or you can only give your devotion to or devote your time to one, when even in the Bible itself, it speaks of many. And while there is one ultimate one that gets to be the head honcho, there are many that are described or at least referenced to indirectly. So that means that there's more out there than just the one. And no disrespect to that one, if that's the one you continue to call on. No disrespect. But it helps me to understand and to know that while that may be the one for you, that one may not be and is not for everyone. And the book even tells you it's not for everyone. But does that mean the ones that are not under that rulership condemned forever in a lake of fire and brimstone with weeping and gnashing of teeth? Or is there more to that story that we were never taught to investigate, never encouraged to ask more questions, never told to find out for yourself? Because whatever the main person is that stands in front of the whole group of people, congregation of people, whatever he says, mainly he says, but some she's have come up into the fold. But whatever they say, that is golden. That is it. There is no questioning unless you're seeking to get closer to that one. And again, no disrespect, but I want more. And so to follow this path, go down this rabbit hole, so to speak, as you see the sigil that is on the screen, this is a sigil of Lucifer or for Lucifer. But in even investigating this, you talk about, or I talk about going beyond the open door. That door swung wide open. So I just want to share that piece with you, but I also want to just briefly, because again, I'm learning, so I am no expert. I am no, what's the word? No guru or anything like that. I am learning. I am dipping my toe in the water, and I'm just sharing as I go. But what intrigues me about the Luciferian path or ideology, philosophy, maybe the best word to say, is it is about, here's a main word. It's about sovereignty. Sovereignty. Let's define that word. Sovereignty. Sovereignty. Sovereignty, a noun, meaning supreme power or authority. A self-governing state. Supreme power or authority, self-governing. That's what intrigues me about this philosophy. It encourages you to govern yourself. It encourages you to be the supreme power or authority over yourself. So while as a Christian, I could do this because God, Jesus was the head of my life, and what they said, that's what I followed or tried to follow as best as I could. Because I knew that if I didn't, there would be a price to pay. And so, whatever I did, I had to answer to that authority that I had placed myself under. But in the Luciferian, I'm being very broad here again because I'm still learning it, but just very broad and a quick snippet. Overall, oversimplifying maybe too, but overall, the goal is self-governance or sovereignty, meaning you are responsible for you. I am responsible for me. And the choices that I make, if I get gain out of it, I get the credit. If it is a poor choice and I suffer the consequences, I have to hold myself accountable for that poor choice. But there is no heaven or hell for me to go to either way. It is about knowing the power that is already within me, tapping into that power, and allowing myself to grow through that power. Acknowledging myself for having the spark of life that we all have, and then building upon that. It's not walking around with the big head saying, I'm God, worship me, listen to my voice. Thus saith Domina. It is none of that. But it is whatever is right for me that builds me up and gives me strength and gives me encouragement and allows me to be who I am truly supposed to be without apology, without shame or guilt. That is what it is. And though I choose to work with Lucifer or Hecate or Sekhmet or Leviathan or Tiamat or whatever other entity, an angel, my ancestors, it is not about giving worship to anyone or anything. It is about knowing who I am and aligning or having an ally work with me, assist me, encourage me, give guidance and a heads up. But at the end of the day, if I choose not to follow that guidance, if I choose not to take heed to that heads up, I have no one to blame but myself. If I choose to ponder and take heed to guidance, a heads up, I give thanks, or I say, I appreciate the assist, but I still recognize that at the end of the day, it was I who made the choice. While I got an idea from, or I got inspiration from, it was I who made the choice. I hold my hat on no one or no thing. That is the beauty of it. I am self-governing as far as my spirituality is concerned. Do I pay homage to Lucifer? Yes, I do. And while getting to know and introduced and establishing relationship, the first thing that came out of my mouth to ask him was, can I call you my patron? And his answer to me was no. And I am grateful, because I think, and I'm not knocking anyone that says they have a matron or a patron. I am not speaking against that. Again, whatever works for you, whatever is truth for you, let it be truth for you. You owe me no explanation why you call a matron or a patron. None. That is your spiritual walk, your spiritual path, and your decision for you. But I am grateful for the answer of a no. Because for many of us, and especially for me, who have grown up depending on somebody to tell me what is right and wrong, depending on somebody, and not just depending on them to tell me what's right or wrong, but making choices based on whether or not you would accept me if you agreed with me, or would you reject me if you didn't. And I still fight that. But I am learning to peel it off. Because when I breathe my last, you're not going to be next to me. You're not going to be in that dirt, or you're not going to be in that fire, or whatever choice I choose to make for my ending. You're not going to be there to change it one way or the other. So I choose to be self-governing. I choose to have supreme power and authority over my spiritual decisions. And I am grateful to Lord Lucifer. Yes, I call him Lord Lucifer. And we know that at least in the Bible, they said Lord meant Baal, which meant master. I say that out of respect. I say that out of acknowledgement of the power, of the essence, of the energy, out of the exchange that I have with him in my spiritual walk. But I do not worship him. I do not put him over me as far as a supreme being for my decisions. I understand and recognize he is an ancient energy, ancient energy. He is not better than me. I dare say he's not above me. But I recognize that he knows a lot more than me. And so I tap into that wisdom. I tap into that knowledge. I tap into that understanding as I grow and as I learn. But I do not bow down to him. And that is what I've had to learn. We've been so afraid to even say the name, a lot of Jewish people, they won't even say God. They say Hashem, so that they don't speak the ineffable name of the Creator that they have put themselves under. And for this dark mass, I just wanted to put that information out. Like I said, I spend time with my ancestors. I give them breakfast. I give them water. I celebrate their birth dates and their death dates. I just went through a whole 31 days of Hoodoo heritage, honoring and remembering and connecting. But even as much as I love them and miss them, I do not bow down to them either. I understand they are my elders, and I give them respect in that manner. And any deity or energy that I work with, it is the same attitude. I recognize their power. I recognize that they've been here. Their energy has been here longer than my energy is, or my human understanding has been. And so I learn and I grow and I allow them, or I align with them, and I allow them to be my ally, my spiritual ally. But I worship no one and nothing. And Lucifer has been that one to help me see and understand step by step, inch by inch, day by day, what that really means. And I still tussle and toil with that a little bit too. So don't get it twisted. I'm not all there. because that old man, that old way of thinking says, well, you can't have relationship with this one and then also have relationship with that one, but then also have relationship with that one. Oh yeah, and then throw in your ancestors and then maybe an angel here and there, and then and don't even talk about a saint, because that's just chaos and confusion. And God is not the author. God is not the author of confusion. So I'll share more. I have, in my research and trying to get books and read and different things like that, I came across a book called the Luciferian Bible. And I think I'll share bits and pieces of that as I go forward. I listened to the audio version of it first. I'm a Prime member, so I listened to the audio book of it first. And I like to do that because I figure if I like the audio, especially since I can't read it firsthand, if I'm liking what I hear, if it's resonating with me from what I hear, that prompts me to buy the book, to pay the money for the book, to have that in hand so I can see the words on the page for myself. And I have listened to this audiobook and ordered it, and it came in the mail yesterday. And the more that I have heard it and now starting to look at the words on the page, I'm glad that I did. Will I incorporate everything that's in this book? Probably not. But it's a small, short read, and it's to the point. But a lot of what I heard makes sense for me. It talks about the origin of Lucifer. And again, like I said, I'll read bits and pieces of it here and there as I go forward. But overall, this dark mass was just to give an introduction to where I am in my path, on my journey. And I'll be sharing other pieces of my journey, other paths that I'll be starting to work with as well, along with some hoodoo. And I've already shared some of that, but there are some other avenues that I'm going to go down as well. So it's not the main path, I believe, for me is Luciferian, but that again is a philosophy that helps us to understand we are sovereign. We are spiritually sovereign. Well, at least I am. I'm not saying collectively, just those who come up under that umbrella. I am responsible for the choices I make, good or bad, gain or consequence. I'm responsible. I take responsibility and credit. And so, with that, give you a little bit to chew on. Maybe some of you will run for the hills, and that's okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you stopping by, taking the time to listen. But you do you and be happy with you, because that's what I'm learning to do. Doing me and being happy with me. And so, with that, I'm going to let you go. I will see you next time, and peace and blessings to you all.